Alright. Let me get it.
Alright.
Let me get something to drink. I'll send you an invite, yo mama. Let me get some. Oh, it's no rush. Let me get something to drink. Grace, because I gotta do a lot of talking.
No problem, man.
Alright. So let's go over basic Orochi offense before we get into Orochi defense. So obviously Orochi's, I'm talking to this other person, so it's alright. Alright, so obviously Orochi really only has top light in zone. Beyond that, there's not too much you can do, but one of the most basic techniques is striking from neutral. So sheath your blade, like, there you go. Now unsheath it. Yeah, don't hit me. Sheath your blade. Unsheath it again. Alright, now you're neutral. Neutral means I can't see your guard stance. That's how you can see someone's guard stance when they actually position it. Now when Orochi draws his blade, it's already in top and I can't see it, meaning that when you throw an attack, it'll be a top light. This is a gimmick that you use on people who just sincerely block top. So you can come out of neutral and then, you know, they can't see your guard stance and it just comes from the top. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's a useful trick to use mid-battle. It does catch a lot of people off guard. Alright. Additionally, Orochi can throw his zone at 3 speeds. The slowest zone is after a dash. So do a dash and then zone. Try again. That's the slowest zone Orochi has. Now, the second fastest zone is just from standing still, so just throw a zone. That's the second fastest zone. Now, press triangle. And yeah, that's the perfect emote. If you throw a zone after that emote, that's the quickest zone Orochi can throw. Now, I have to play Orochi so I can show you all this so you can see it. Alright then. Now, additionally, a lot of people are going to catch on that after the emote, you're going to throw a zone. So a good thing is, while you're in neutral, emote and then throw a top light. So a triangle and then just R1. There you go. So that's, again, these are gimmicks. Now that's Orochi's offense in a nutshell. He doesn't have too much else, unfortunately. Your top heavy does reach, so like throw a top heavy. It can actually catch the backdash sometimes, but it is difficult. But you can use it against the people who constantly backdash. I like to throw 2 top heavies, so I'll throw the first top heavy, throw a top heavy, and then I'll just delay the second heavy as much as possible. Another thing I like to do is after I land both top lights, I throw a delayed side light because that gives your opponent time to press buttons. So go ahead and do that. Top light, delay the side light. Gives your opponent time to press a button and they'll just eat it. Alright. So that's the basic offense. Now, the more advanced stuff is his unlock tech. But before we get to that, I'm going to show you how to cancel recovery frames. Alright, so Orochi only has recovery frames on 2 moves. That's the Riptide, do the Riptide. That's the Storm Rush. The Riptide is, you hold back, there you go. Yeah, there's huge recovery frames on that. Now after a missed Riptide, you can throw a heavy or a light, but more importantly, you can miss a Riptide and then throw a feint to cancel the recovery frame. So do that. Throw a feint, and now you canceled your recovery frame. So you could dash, you can probably parry, you can at least block. So that's the quickest thing you can do, and you can even try and bait your opponent with that. So get used to doing that. There you go, good shit. So that's one of the things he can do. Now he has recovery frames after a missed Storm Rush. So do a Storm Rush, and then when you miss it, zone immediately. It cancels the recovery frames. That's the only way to cancel the recovery frames on a missed Storm Rush, and this catches most people because most people just don't know about it. Alright, so that's pretty much all his offense. The only other thing is throw a raw head. Do you have your combat log on? It shows how much damage you do. If you don't, you should go ahead and put it on. Just go to options, user interface, go all the way down, and just turn your combat log on. I assume you got it on. Alright, so throw a top heavy. That does 35 damage, alright? Now, if you unlock it, meaning that you just, let go of L2 and press R2, it does 38. Now, you can get that off a guard break. Just do a guard break, unlock, and throw a heavy. I'll try again. You want to throw a top heavy. You still don't have it yet. Eventually you'll figure it out though. Now it only does 3 more damage, but sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing.
Round 3.
Alright, so that's pretty much that's all of Orochi's offense that I can think of right now. I'm tired, so I can't get into it. Now this is what makes Orochi special. He has double option select. His first option select is obviously the zone. I talked about this before. So what you want to do is the same time that you'd parry a heavy, you throw a zone. That way the game decides whether you get a parry or a zone. So try that. You got a parry. Now try again. You got a zone. That's absolutely perfect. Now this is what it's useful for. This specific mix-up. So stand still and I want you to parry the unblockable. You got the parry. Now watch what happens if I go for a guard break. You got the zone. Alright. Now this is what, now do it again. Let me show you why this has a weakness. See? Berserker's broken, so I can just hit you through it. Now Orochi has 2 option selects. So the zone option select is for basic moves like that. But if you run into a character like Berserker or Kensei who has dual mix-ups, you have to use a second option select. Alright, the second option select is the Riptide. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to do a Riptide the same time you'd parry. And that destroys that entire mix-up. Just like that. Now do it again. You did it early that time. If you did it correctly, you would have parried the unblockable. You're good. It takes practice, but that's the purpose of that Riptide. Now, this option select, as far as I know, is only applicable to the Berserker matchup. It doesn't work on Kensei because his attacks have too much range. So let's practice this again. You got the parry. Good. You got the Riptide. Good. Just keep going. See, even though I went for the guard break, the Riptide still had priority.
That's how I won my last game.
See, you did the zone, and that's the problem with the zone option select. It always doesn't work out. Now, the Riptide option select is invaluable in the Berserker matchup. The only time it will fail, like, let's do this again, is if I cancel into nothing. Berserkers don't cancel into nothing because they're aggressive. They're going to cancel into a heavy, a light, or a zone. So let's try this one more time. Oops. Sorry. It just takes practice, but as long as you understand the concepts, you can apply it. And this is actually what makes Orochi my favorite for fighting Berserkers. Specifically this option select. Additionally, a good way to use the zone option select is whenever you fight someone who has an incredible zone, Berserker, PK, Kensei, what you want to do is every time you throw a zone, you want to throw it in the direction that their zone starts from. So my zone, my zone starts from the right. So every time you throw a zone, or when you feel like they might throw a zone, just match that side, throw the zone, and if they don't throw it, they'll eat a zone, and if they do throw it, you'll parry it. This is great. I use this against Kenseis all the time. I also use this against Orochis because it's safer than dashing and possibly being guard broken. Alright. Now, what else was I about to show you? Well, I think that's pretty much it for the Berserker matchup. But anyway, keys to the Berserker matchup. Alright, Berserker and Orochi both have 120 health. Now, if you've noticed, your heavies hit for 35, mine hit for 33, which means that if we trade heavies, you will win eventually. So, in the Berserker matchup, you want to trade heavies, you know, try and land a Riptide if possible, but mainly you just want to get one light parry to give you the advantage. And then you can just trade heavies, because, again, your heavies hit harder. But like I said, Orochi matchups is literally specific knowledge that's only applicable to Orochi. Like, I haven't seen another character who can use it except for the fact that Orochi is designed to disrespect mix-ups. Like, anytime you feel your opponent's gonna throw a guard break, top light or heavy, or you can safely, you know, option select. And, you know, you'll get the parry or you'll get the attack depending on what they do. That's pretty much it for the Berserker matchup. You can't really deflect Berserkers just because they have hyper armor. Like, try doing a deflect to me. Oh, my bad, let's do that again. That was beautiful. But if you do a R1, you know, if you do a R1, you'll trade with me. Now, your light deflect does do 35, so you do win the trade. And you have to keep in mind that since Orochi's light deflect does 35, it's more optimal than getting a heavy parry. Because if you get a heavy parry, all you get is 22 damage compared to the 35. That's also good. Alright, so I like to look for deflects with Orochi compared to heavy parries. But deflects are riskier because you can get guard broken. Now, damn, I was gonna say something else. Yeah, there's also, okay, yeah, Storm Rush mix-ups. Alright, so the most basic Storm Rush mix-up is the guard break, but I never use that one just because it's so unsafe. I like to Storm Rush, cancel, and then zone. So try that. Storm Rush, cancel, zone. Yeah, I like that one because it comes from opposite sides. You should also keep in mind you can put your Storm Rush on opposite sides. Another trick to using Dominion is to literally just lay in wait and Storm Rush. The person runs by, you hit them with the Storm Rush and 2 top fights. Alright, that's pretty much it for Orochi and the Berserker matchup. Can't think of anything else right now, but yeah, what you want to do is try and bait a light parry, because if you can get that, no, not a deflect. You don't want to deflect Berserkers, you want to parry that. A light parry is just as good as a deflect. Alright, so here, just kill me real quick. Don't execute. No one wants to sit here for 5 seconds to watch an execution. Alright, so for now, we're just gonna fight. I'm just gonna fight y'all. And see if you can apply mainly the option select. And just the overall stratagem, which is, of course, to trade well and get a light parry. Alright, let's go. That's another problem. If I cancel into zone, things get difficult. Good side light. Another good side light. Alright, now I'm gonna play like an asshole. Pretty much how you showed me how to play Berserker, because you actually helped me with my Berserker. I didn't realize you could cancel all the recovery frames like that. I personally don't like Berserker. I'm kind of putting this character down because he's just so fucking lame. Like, you don't have to be good at all to be good at Berserker. You can literally just fucking press buttons. Alright, let's go.
That was quick. I don't know what I was trying to do there.
Prepared.
Oh, you do from the other side.
Victory!
Yeah, it sucks, bro. Berserker's really fucking lame, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. But he can be dealt with. It just requires a lot of focus and skill. Every time you kill a berserker, you should be proud. I'll be straight up with you. I'll take that trade. I keep the combat logs on so you can see which trades you're winning. Now, another tip for fighting berserkers is, so a lot of them like to do heavy light thing. Most people do it to the opposite side. Now, it's difficult to block, but it's very possible to block. Now, if you want to parry it, you need to figure out, you need to watch your opponent's patterns. It's important to watch your opponent's patterns. You're Orochi, you need every piece of information to win, especially in this matchup, if not every matchup. I'm gonna keep doing opposite side like a basic berserker, but you don't want to get too defensive and just get guard broken, because that does happen. Yeah, I know. The zone's very strong in this matchup. You need to block it.
Victory!
And this is probably the worst matchup for every character besides like Highlander and
Round
Kensei,
9.
and of course another berserker. But Orochi does have tools that most people don't have, you know. As long as I'm doing this mix-up, you do have a chance. But if I'm not, then you just have to play the berserker's game, which is a boxing game.
Yeah, basically. Well, I tried to do something else stupid.
And that's the problem. See, if a berserker just does, and that's what I do. I just do feint guard break. And as long as you're trying to parry or dodge, it's a free guard break, and things get bad really quickly. Good shit. See, good heavy. I always throw that over. Good shit. Now this is where. Now this is what happens. Well, hold up, Grace. So if you fight a berserker who's just doing heavy, you know, heavy feint into guard break. Hold up. God dang it. Heavy feint into guard break. You just put your guard stance to that side, throw a zone the time you parry, and then you'll get the parry. And if I go for a guard break, you get the zone. The only problem, of course, is if I do that and that. But if you can call it, like you just know he's gonna do it, you can preemptively riptide after the heavy. I know this is a lot of information, but this is literally what you have to consider when fighting in this bullshit ass matchup. Alright, let's get to it. I deflected that. Nice delayed sidelight.
Round 10.
I always had a problem with delaying stuff. I always go for it as soon as I can, so I'm trying to finish him.
If you delay Orochi's sidelight, it actually comes out quicker than if you just throw it normally. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't deflect that. And that was a free riptide, because well, you saw what I did. anytime I do that and I cancel into anything, it's a free Riptide. The only problem is the zone. The zone seems to clip people even if you Riptide, and I'm still trying to figure out how to solve that.
I hate that kind of thing. Yeah.
Victory!
This is a tough matchup. You need to turtle and look for heavies. Because you out-trade the Berserker. You really do out-trade him. And you have to keep in mind, and this is really hard to keep in mind, I'm struggling with this. So obviously, if I throw a light, I could throw a heavy and cancel. But, you know, if I want to keep my combo going, I throw a heavy. I can't cancel the light. But I can obviously throw another heavy and cancel. But, I don't know. That was a free Riptide. Riptide. There you go. Finally. It takes practice to get used to it, but you'll figure it out. That was a free Riptide.
Yeah, I saw that.
Alright, last round.
Round
Berserker.
12.
I'll move to a different matchup.
Man, whenever I think it's gonna come from a different direction, come from the other one. What's your 2 cents on the zone?
She tried to play the zone. Honestly, bro, I don't know. I successfully Riptide the zone like a lot, actually. I don't know why. I can never show it to people like over here. I try to too.
Victory!
Alright, so here's another thing to know. Orochi's backdash is actually useless. So don't do it. It's fucking useless. Like, I don't know why he is the only, like, assassin, if not the only character whose backdash is useless. But you can't, it has no purpose. Like, you can't, like, you can get double guard broken. Most heavies will reach you. It's just not a good move, so just don't do it. Just don't ever do it. Like obviously there are situations where you have to do it, but for the most part in duels, Orochi's backdash is actually trash. It will get you guard broken, it will get you heavied, everything. Alright, so I'm gonna change characters. Y'all can go Orochi again.
I'm assuming he's in the Hydra.
No, this is just one of my friends.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, my fucking phone died. Excuse my language. Alright, so let's get to practicing the basics of deflecting. I really wish I knew how to play Highlander, because then I could show you everything, but I'll figure it out right now. Yeah, Grace, my phone died, so just give me a second.
Round one.
Alright, so I got Highlander so I can show you the easiest Riptide in the game. Alright, so Celtic Curse is a guaranteed Riptide. So all you have to do is as soon as you hear or see the animation for the Celtic Curse, just Riptide. Nah, Riptide. Well, you gotta parry because I didn't do it correctly. I don't even know how to do the Celtic Curse. I just realized. Wow.
I think it's you hold the up.
See? Free, right? You can do this every time without fail. This actually, it amazes me how many Highlanders just eat this over and over. It's the freest Riptide you'll ever see. And it's gorgeous.
Well,
it does 40 damage. And it's nice. Now this is where the mix-up begins. With the patch, Highlander can cancel the Celtic Curse. Well, I'll just show you. Just keep doing it and I'll show you. Alright. So I can change it into offensive stance. So do that again. Wow, I really suck at Highlander. Alright, so basically, yeah, I changed the offensive stance. I dodge, I kick, or whatever Highlanders do. So once that starts happening, the Highlanders realize, okay, you're gonna Riptide my Celtic Curse. Well, you call his bluff. Alright? Instead of going for a Riptide, as soon as you see him do it, just throw top lights because I'm an offensive stance. Alright? I can't do anything to defend myself. But that's the 50-50. That's the guess. Alright? So that means you went from, you know, the Riptiding the Celtic Curse. I've adapted, but you've already been in this situation, so you call my bluff. And as soon as I go do this, just throw top lights. Or throw a raw heavy. It doesn't matter. But I mean, anytime, you know, Highlander's in offensive stance, it's free hits. The only problem is he has PK's dodge in this. So even if you throw a zone, like, throw it, like dash forward and throw a zone. Hold up. Get away from me first.
Oh.
I'm trying to demo it. Because I can't do it. I'm not good enough to do it on reaction.
Right.
But I'm going to show you.
Round three.
The problem with Orochi Zone is it doesn't have a large AoE. And if you whiff it, it's like got a heavy recovery. So dash forward and throw a zone. Yeah, you... See? Yeah. But I have PK's dodge and offensive stance. So that's just something to keep in mind of Highlander. Alright, now let's get to the basics of deflecting. Alright. So the first part of deflecting is knowing your opponent in the matchup. I'm Highlander, which means I have 600 millisecond lights, which means literally you should deflect every single one of my lights or parry them, light parries. Alright. Now the thing is, your deflect does the same amount of damage as, you know, your light parry. The only benefit of the light parry is I lose stamina. But you have to keep in mind that since I have 600 millisecond lights, you want to train yourself to where you literally deflect every single one of these. Now, a good Highlander is going to throw, you know, just a raw heavy sometimes. But if I do that, you can just dodge it and guard break me, which leads me to the basics of deflecting. So the very fundamental of deflecting is walking in the direction of your opponent's guard stance. So if my guard stance is to the right, you want to rock to the right. That way you just got to press X and you'll get the deflect. Take some practice. There you go. Now my guard stance is to the left. So you want to walk to the left. Alright. And now these are 600 millisecond lights, which means you don't anticipate these. You react to these. 500 millisecond, like your top light, those are anticipation. Some people can react to them. So they walk in the direction of my guard stance and try and get the deflect. Now I got it up top so that we can walking forward. There you go. Now mine's on the right. There you go. Now it's on the left. Alright. Now, things Orochi can do with deflect. He has a light deflect for 35. Very good deflect. Does heavy damage. Now, if it's at the end of a chain, you can guard break me. So I want you to go for the guard break after the deflect. My bad, bro.
What? Alright.
Just go for the guard break once you get the deflect. Now, you couldn't get it because my chain wasn't over. Now, if you know your opponent, which you need to know your opponent, you go for the guard break when the chain's over. Now, this is just flashy. This only truly works on Shigokis because the recovery between the light and the heavy is so massive. That's just something that's really a gimmick. Now, what Orochi can do is instead of going for the light deflect, go for a heavy deflect. There you go. That's the mix-up. Now, he can cancel into a guard break. He can cancel into another light deflect, which is guaranteed. He can let the heavy deflect go, or he can cancel into some flashy stuff like a storm rush or whatnot. Anyway, let's get you back up. Now, the only thing I recommend canceling a heavy deflect into is a light deflect. You can cancel into a guard break to guarantee the execution, but I just personally don't like it because there's just a lot of flaws in that. Alright, so what I want you to do is just do a regular light deflect. So walk in the direction of my guard stance and do a deflect. There you go. Now do the light deflect. Press R1. Grace. There you go. Now you're going to do a heavy deflect cancel into a light, which means you're going to press R2, and when you see me dodge, you're going to press R1. You'll get a different animation. Now, as you can see, you can dodge it early, which means his attack is slow enough to react to. You have to keep that in mind. It's alright. Alright, now you do the heavy deflect into the light cancel. Dodged early.
Ooh,
it's alright.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry, I messed up. Yeah.
Try again. Try again.
I'm so used to doing that.
See? The animation canceled and the light comes out quicker. Now that light is parryable. Like, throw that light from the same side again.
Alright.
Oh, that killed me. That light is parryable, but it does come out quicker. So it is useful. Now,
Round 5.
it's just hard to do all this stuff in one go, because this is literally what I've learned over the course of a year. Alright, now come over here, yo mama. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Alright, so put your blade away, Grace, calm down. There you go. Alright, so you're gonna go for a heavy deflect. I'm gonna avoid it, and you're gonna cover your tracks by throwing a light. Alright? No, dude.
Oh, messed
a
up.
heavy deflect.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There you go. The light covers your tracks. Now the light's parryable, but 9 times out of 10, when you miss a heavy deflect, the opponent goes for a guard break, which is free if you don't cover your tracks. Only an Orochi main is gonna parry that light after the missed heavy deflect, because they know that it's coming. Alright, that pretty much covers it for this matchup. The only other things you need to watch out for this matchup is just like the Warden, I'm looking to crushing counter your lights. So an easy thing to do is just to bait out the light. So like, you know, throw some heavy feints to the top. So, and then I'll throw a light and you parry it. So go ahead and do that. Throw 2 heavy feints and then parry the light. You did it too early. Alright, try again. You didn't have enough stamina.
Right on the stamina.
Alright, so something you should watch. How many feints can Orochi throw? He can throw 5, I know from experience. So throw as many feints as you can. 1, 2, 3. If you do it correctly, you can do 5, but you have to give yourself a little bit of time in between. Alright. So
1, 2, 3.
now feints are invaluable to the Orochi because he doesn't have shit else. Plus, people are banking on you throwing top lights, especially since they're nerfed, and the risk versus reward is kind of bullshit right now. So throw feints, see how your opponent reacts. You know, bad players will do a spin, or maybe they'll just throw out a raw head because they want to parry you.
My Orochi can only do 4.
But that's because your Orochi's still young. Alright.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for this matchup. We're gonna go to a new one. So with the Highlander matchup, Riptide the Celtic Curse. If they start playing that mind game with you, just disrespect the offensive stance when you see it coming. And then just deflect their lights. Like, you should be deflecting all of their lights. And then even if they throw out a raw heavy, the one thing about Orochi's Zephyr Strike, his dodge R1 move, it has the longest dodge property of any of the dodge R1 moves in the game. So you can delay it so much that you can escape any heavy except like Kensei's heavy. And even that heavy can be escaped. It just requires literally frame perfect timing. Now, I'm showing you Highlander, Berserker, and Conqueror because these are the new meta, and Orochi struggles with these. Well, everyone struggles with these characters, but Orochi does have options against them. So I'm gonna go Conqueror and show you how you deal with him.
Jeez, I got owned by Conqueror last night.
Conqueror can be tough. Especially because of his high health pool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Highlander matchup's pretty simple. You can just fight him, honestly. Just fight him naturally. Try and bait out, you know, his top light because he wants to crush and counter yours. Counter is actually really easy on the side light. Once you land a Riptide on a Highlander, you gain a third of their health bar. So, you know, 2 light deflects and they're damn near dead. Problems with this matchup. The basic is the all block, right? Block, and then you guard break me. You know, simple stuff, alright? That's with any all block though, alright? Basic shit. Now, the next part of this matchup is just this fucking zone, right? It's really so safe, right? Well, Conqueror Zone has 2 weaknesses. For Orochi, the most easy weakness to exploit is you can Riptide it. So, like, this is the most basic zone you'll see from Conqueror, alright? He'll go in all block, you get in to try and guard break me, and I zone to get you off of me, alright? Well, if you Riptide the zone, and you have to do this preemptively, you'll get the Riptide. Now, so let's try this. I'm gonna go in all block to bait you in. I'm a zone, but you're gonna Riptide. But it's gotta be preemptive. So let's try this again. No, do the Riptide. You know, do the Riptide by yourself. Just do it real quick. Nah, the Riptide's the little Kobe step back move. Perfect. Alright, so I'm gonna do the all block to bait you to come in, and you're gonna Riptide my zone, alright? Alright, now I let it go 2 reps, which was what made it safe. Now most Conquerors cancel it, so do it again. See, I couldn't block that. That hits for 40, and it makes the Conqueror think twice about doing the zone. Alright, it's good shit. I learned this from Bone himself. It's really nice, actually. Now obviously a good Conqueror, if he sees you do that, he's gonna just, you know, start just holding it. Alright? Now this is the second weakness to the Conqueror Zone, and I don't think anyone's actually seen this part yet. Alright, so if you look closely at Conqueror Zone, the shield rotates around my body. Alright? Which means it exposes my right side at some point during the animation. You can actually throw a raw side heavy into it and you'll hit me. It just takes timing. So I'm gonna keep doing the zone, and you're gonna try and side heavy me when the shield is no longer over here. It takes practice though. You gotta throw a side heavy into it. Alright, let me get my stamina back. Yeah, you try real quick, yo mama.
I mean, I can't guarantee I'll hit it.
I mean, you'll figure it out eventually. Alright, so you didn't do it. My shield was here when you threw it. So wait till... You just gotta time it up right. It takes practice. Alright.
Right.
You almost got it. Try again. It's not easy, bro. You got it. Alright. Now, this is the proof that his zone actually isn't invulnerable. But I've never done this in an actual fight. I learned about it last night. I prefer to riptide the zone because they always cancel it. But try again. Oh, my bad. Hold up.
Oh, gee.
I did the wrong thing. Alright. Nope. Try throwing a side light. Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep.
It's alright. I have to get Wiz to demo this because he's the one who showed this to me anyway.
2.
Alright, get my stamina back. I just wanted to try and get it in this video. Hold up, Puppies is saying something. Can't you just cancel zone recovery with full block then punish side heavy? Most likely. I don't know, that looks kind of slow. I know what you're saying, Puppies. I know exactly what you're saying, but that's like another level of a mind game, but that's fair enough to consider. Alright, anyway, so that's the basic part of the matchup. Alright, so obviously you want to bait the all block, you want to riptide the zone, but then finally we get to the shield bash bullshit. You can riptide the shield bash the same way you'd riptide a Centurion kick. So basically, you see me dash, and you joke for the riptide. You see, you have to do it kind of preemptively because the shield bash is that fast. But you can definitely riptide the shield bash. I don't like to riptide it personally, but everyone has to have their own preferences when dealing with matchups.
I normally just Zephyr it.
Yeah, I Zephyr the shield bash. It's much easier to do. Alright, you try riptiding the zone. So I'm all block zone, and you're gonna riptide. Alright. I let it go that time. That's my fault. Good shit. Do it again. Good. Alright. Now, Conquerors aren't always just gonna do this in zone. Alright, because another mix-up is that guard break, and you see how long that guard break reaches. Alright, but if you ever meet a Conqueror who's just backstep zone, or you know, they're just really obvious with the zone, riptide it, make them stop doing it. Alright, so you can riptide this as well, but that takes a lot more practice. But the next part of Conqueror is just light spam, right? They can just throw lights. It's actually not that hard to deflect, at least for me it isn't. So I assume if a Conqueror throws a light to the right and I let it hit me, they're going to the top next, and I deflect that. So go ahead and try that. There you go. I'm gonna go right left this time. Alright, it's alright. So I'm gonna do right, left. Just do empty deflects, alright? Yeah, it's not easy. Plus they hit for 15 each, which is kind of bullshit. But this is also deflect 101. This is also deflect 101 type shit. Alright, so look. The best part about deflecting is, even if you don't get a deflect, in most matchups, not this matchup though, if you dodge an attack and it's the end of a chain, you get a free guard break. So, you know, I can't really demo it in this matchup, but here's one thing to consider. Alright, so, you know, I'm throwing lights, but then all of a sudden, you know, I throw a heavy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're not going to deflect the heavy because you're trying to deflect the light, which means you dodge too early. But then you just zephyr out of the heavy. Now this applies to every single matchup. So, you know, you dodge the light, or you're trying to deflect the light. Your opponent throws a heavy instead. You zephyr out of it. You punish them for it. And, you know, we go back to neutral. So I'm going to throw light heavy combos. Try and deflect the lights, and then zephyr out of the heavies. Good deflect.
Oh.
That was a heavy. You should have zephyred.
Yeah.
Alright. Good. Good. That was a heavy. Alright. Now, what you don't want to do is zephyr early. If you zephyr early, not only will most heavies track you, but then you lose stamina. So that's just something to keep in mind with all Orochi. That's just an Orochi thing. To be a good Orochi, you have to zephyr reactively, not preemptively. You can deflect preemptively, but you can't zephyr preemptively. That's how you get hit. Same shit with, you know, I'm doing lights, and I don't even know how to play Conqueror. Wow. Then I do a shoulder bash, right? Well, then you want to zephyr out of it. Now, this is something to remember in this matchup. You can never guard break Conqueror, bro. Ever. Because he has infinite combo chains. Even if I miss that, I can follow up with a light. Hold up, let me get this right.
Oh yeah.
So I missed, but I follow up with a light. So you don't go for guard breaks on Conquerors. You just zephyr out of their moves, deflect their moves, and then, you know, wait for your opportunity or create it. You know, obviously I have my all block, I have my zone, I have my heavies. The one time you can actually get a Conqueror on a Storm Rush is if they whiff 2 lights and, you know, I'm just open, or if for whatever reason I do this dumb shit and I miss, right? That's a free Storm Rush. Your Storm Rush is your backstep R2. So it's not, that's the Riptide. Yeah, that's the Storm Rush, alright? Now, a basic thing about the Storm Rush is, alright, so Grace, Storm Rush me, the top lights are guaranteed. So Storm Rush me and then throw your top lights. Alright, now it wasn't guaranteed because my guard sensor's up top, right? So what you want to do is throw a zone. So Storm Rush me and throw a zone. Zone's guaranteed from the stun, right? Alright. So you have to pay attention to your opponent's guard stance. Against assassins, obviously top lights are constantly guaranteed. So you don't have to worry about it. But against other people, you know, you need to look at their guard stance. The only problem is the zone costs half your stamina bar, so you need to be careful of that. Alright, go ahead and kill me real quick. Wait a second. Puppies, Nabushi's side lights do 15 when they're bleeding. I swear to you. I swear to you that her regular R1, I think it does like 5 if they're not bleeding and 15 if they are. What was I about to say? That's pretty much that for this matchup. So basically, you want to get good at, you know, deflecting these, stop the spam. Anytime they cancel into a heavy or a shoulder bash, you want to zephyr out of it. You want to bait the all block, get the guard break, and then of course you want to riptide this. Alright, so let's talk about twin Orochi combos. Alright, so double Orochis is actual cancer. We have what we call the infinite top light combo. All credit to Afro Ronin for inventing this one. Alright, now the infinite top light combo is simple. So hit me with some top lights, yo mama. Oh, my bad. Do it again. Alright, now you see how my head bobbles? Do it again. There you go. On the second head bobble, the other Orochi needs to throw top lights. And then on my second, then you just go back and forth. And they can't escape it. They can't even pop revenge. So you're going to try it. Yo mama, you start. Graceful, you follow up. On the second head bobble, the other person throws top lights. You messed it up, yo mama.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But you see it though. There you go. You waited a half second too late on the second one.
Yeah.
But if you do it correctly, they can't do anything. They can't pop revenge. Just they can't do shit. Like they're stuck in stun animation. Alright. Now
Yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
that combo is gorgeous, right? Now the easier combo and the combo every Orochi knows about is the Storm Rush combo. And it's simple. Alright, so graceful just wait a second. So Grace is gonna do the Storm Rush, then throw her top lights, and then you're gonna do your Storm Rush on the second head bobble, or really in between the first and the second, and then I can't escape it. Alright.
So, Storm Rush top light?
Yeah, let her do her top lights, and then in between the first and second head bobble, you Storm Rush me. Alright, let's go. Alright. Now, that's pretty much how it goes. Now, the only problem with this combo is if the Orochis are greedy and y'all throw top lights at the same time in any type of Orochi combo, I'll get damage reduction, which means I take like half the damage I should. But if you're doing that, that means you're fucking up the infinite top light combo, so you kind of deserve the damage reduction. So that just takes practice that you have to do with, you know, another Orochi until y'all figure it out. But the infinite top light combo is actually cancer. Like, if you ever see an opponent that's, you know, is really good or is gonna pop revenge and you can get them stuck in this, they're just gonna spam wow sorry until, you know, they quit the game.
Yeah.
Alright, now y'all have an interesting thing going on here. Now, there's an easy way to guarantee the Storm Rush. And so kill me already real quick. Alright. The easiest way to guarantee the Storm Rush is literally the guard break. Whether or not I counter guard break, the Storm Rush is guaranteed from the frames. So what you're gonna do is, yo mama, you're gonna guard break me. I'm gonna counter guard break. And as I'm counter guard breaking, she's gonna Storm Rush me, and y'all are gonna begin the infinite top light combo. Alright, so just guard break me. I can't escape that. Alright, but no, you gotta throw top lights to continue the combo. So try again.
Right.
See, I can't get out of that. Now my guard sensor's up top. Alright, so you have to keep that in mind. Both of you do. Alright, I'm gonna put it down here, so guard break me again. Try again. Again in Storm Rush position. I messed that up, my bad. One more time.
I'm agree.
There you go. Alright, now Grace delayed so I could get my block back up. It takes a lot of practice to get this right. What if you don't tech the guard break? I mean, it'd just be a raw anything. He could throw a heavy, and then there's people on the stream trying to comment. He could throw a heavy and continue. Now, another Orochi's top lights guarantees another Orochi's heavy. Alright, so you don't have to do top light forever. If you see the kill, the other Orochi can just throw a heavy because the top lights guarantee the heavy from the hit stun. But the easiest way to open up a turtle in a gank situation of two Orochis, just have your first Orochi guard break the dude, let the next person Storm Rush him, and now they're open. Y'all can do whatever you want. And you can just keep doing this. The best part about Storm Rush is, if I'm not in any type of animation, or if I'm at the end of an animation, you still get the Storm Rush stun. Which means even in revenge mode, my body, you know, goes limp for a whole 2 seconds. But those are twin Orochi combos. Alright, now let's go to a different matchup. Alright. Let's see, who should I go over next? So yeah, so on a recap, with the Conqueror matchup, you want to Riptide the zone, to make them stop using the zone, which they swear is so safe. You want to deflect their lights, Zephyr out of the, the heavy shoulder bash type mix-up. And, I mean, it's pretty much it. And try and bait the all block. Conquerors have to dash to do the shoulder bash. So, like, I guard break Conquerors a lot. Just to see if they're doing something. Grace, go blue for me if you're still there. Alright. Let's see. Let's do Shaman next.
I feel like I found a way to counter Shaman, but sometimes I just screw up all the time.
Shaman's literally like one of my best matchups. And most Shaman play retarded as fuck.
Yeah, they just keep like
charging. Yeah, I can't play Shaman like puppies play Shaman, so it's not a realistic experience. Alright, so this is what sucks about Shaman for Orochi. Most of her moves are heavies, so everything you could easily parry is gonna get you 22 damage, which is worthless, right? So you want to deflect this. It's not even a hard deflect. You want to deflect that though, right? It takes some practice. It's quick, but it can be done. Now, the only problem is you think it might be safe to go for a guard break on Shaman after she misses that, but it isn't. It just isn't. So you want to deflect this and get that free 35 damage. It's just going to take practice. There you go. So that's the basic part. Now, a good Shaman isn't going to spin just in neutral. They're going to spin on reaction, which means that spin's guaranteed, right? But if you can deflect that, it is a nice 35 damage. Now, another thing Shamans love to do is just zone, so block right. Oh, I'm sorry, left. My bad.
Yeah.
Now, you notice how you could block the second 2 hits of that?
Yeah.
That means there's a gap between it, right? So, that means it's storm rushable. Now, you have to storm rush the gap between the second and third hit. So try doing that. Just get in storm rush position. Did it too late. But you see what I'm saying? There's a gap. Good. You get free top lights. Alright? So that stops them from doing that. Now, you're not going to always get the storm rush on anyone, because storm rush kind of means your opponent sucks. Now, Shaman has a good zone, so if you feel like they're going to zone, you can option select it, which means you put your guard stance in that direction when you think I'm going to zone, and, if I don't do anything, you get the zone, and if I do, you'll get the parry. Now, I can't really demo this for you because it just takes too much effort. You just got to understand the concept. But one easy thing to understand is this option select, alright? So, the unblockable, right? So, this time, Grace, you're going to option select my unblockable, alright? So, hold up. You got the parry, right? Now, let's do this again. Oh, no. You're not going to do that option select. Wait a second. Try that again. I just want to see what happens. Oh. Alright, do it one more time. Alright, so yeah, if I cancel into nothing, which most Shaman don't do it one more time. Yeah, most Shaman cancel into guard break. So actually that's not an option select, but the Riptide could, theoretically work here. But more importantly is you want to just, every time you see an unblockable, anyone's unblockable, just throw the zone same time you parry. That way, if I cancel the GB, you get the zone. Alright, so you try it. Alright, you're gonna option select my unblock. Good parry. One more time. Hold up. You got the zone. Alright. So every time you see Shaman's thing, I'd recommend option selecting it. You know, a good opponent might figure out that you're option selecting, but I don't think they're gonna deflect your zone anytime soon unless they're just the GOAT. But as you can see, the Riptide actually seems to be effective because most Shaman puppies, my Shaman's black. First, what are you even doing up at this time of night? It's like 2 a.m. Go to sleep. Jesus Christ. Alright. Alright, so another thing Shamans love to do is this bullshit ass R2 move. Now you're an assassin, so you can just XR1 out of it. So you see me doing this? Easy XR1, right? Now I can cancel it, so you don't want to XR1 preemptively. You want to do it as I'm midair, right? Now, I don't recommend trying to deflect this, because she can do it from neutral, right? I can throw that move from neutral. You don't know which direction I'm doing until you see the indicator. Now, if a Shaman is running directly at you, it only comes from the top. So it's actually an easy deflect. So, of course I want your views. I really just want your advice, but I'll take the views as well. So, obviously, if a Shaman's in free sprint, non-locked on, I can only throw it from the top. So you can't deflect that. Now, you don't want to... you don't want to... It's cool, puppets. You don't want to deflect early. You actually have to deflect on reaction, which makes you realize this attack is slower than you think it is. So, deflect. Now you try it. Now this is of course just me free running. So I can only come from the top because I'm free running. Shit. Now you do that to a Shaman once or twice and they'll be all amazed, whatever. But I look to deflect this, and I look to, you know, well, let's get into that. Alright, so Shamans love this move. They don't love it, but it's nice, right? Now, if a Shaman starts spamming you with this, fuck blocking it. If you dodge it, it's actually a free guard break. So you know I'm gonna do it, so just dodge it and guard break me. Free. Recovery frames are too much. So now you know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so now you know. Shaman starts spamming this, and usually when they start spamming this, they do it in a chain, or at least my homeboy does. So 1, 2, 3. Spam, jumping heavy, soft dodge, jumping heavy. Puppies, I really don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. I suck at Shaman. But, so, they start doing this, just dodge it and get the guard break. You know what I'm saying? Basic stuff, alright? Now, this move, this zone combination into a bleed, can be tough to parry or deflect. I don't recommend trying it, but if you just feel like you've got the read on your opponent, go for it. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But the main things for this matchup, deflect that. You know, if a Shaman is really bad and they do this, you know, try and deflect that. You know, no Shaman usually does it unlocked. You know, option select the zone. You know, try and option select it. And then finally, what was I about to say? Yeah, option select the unblocking. You know, that way you can get out of this mix-up safely. There we go. There's not too much more to the Shaman matchup. You know? They don't have a large health pool like you. Once a Shaman bleeds you, they do one of two things. So, you know, throw a top heavy, alright? I'll do it again, my bad. Alright. the first thing bad shamans do is back up, alright? Simple solution to that is just guard break them. So throw a top heavy, I'm gonna back up, and you're gonna guard break me, right? See? That's the most basic shamans, because they want to get their bite off. So, you know, while they're doing a backdash, just guard break them. And it stops all that. Now, say they have distance on you, you're bleeding, right? You can just XR1. XR1 towards me, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult for me to cancel out of it and do it. I can, but it's not easy. Because there's just a lot of recovery frames on it. So that's how you punish that. Alternatively, do the top heavy. What you're going to do is you're going to do a top heavy, and then you're going to throw another top heavy once I bleed you. Alright? Oh, my bad. My bad. Alright, see? Your top heavy reaches. Alright? That's the other solution. Now, the only problem is, if a shaman parries any of your attacks, bleed's guaranteed. Zone's guaranteed. You're good. So you got to keep that in mind as well. But most shaman are just going to back up once they bleed you, because they want to get their bite off. So just guard break them, or just throw at them. 30 damage, god dang. I hope they nerf that. Jesus Christ. I thought the bite does 50. Like, hold up. Alright, look, I'm about to bleed and then bite you, alright?
Alright.
Yeah, the bite does 50.
damage.
Yeah, the bite does 50 outright. And then the bleed from whatever, I guess. I think Bubby's is talking about some more specifics. Alright, so that's pretty much all I can tell you on the Shaman matchup. Try to option select their zone, which just means throw the zone in the direction their zone comes out. Guard break them once they bleed you. If they start spamming this, dodge and guard break them. Like just like that. I want to test something. So you're going to block. I'm going to throw the bleed from the top, right? And then you're going to throw a zone. Alright. Try again. You gotta block it though. Block it and then throw it on.
Yeah.
No. Alright, so it's not guaranteed. It says 50 but takes away the bleed. Fair enough. So you wanna deflect this. You wanna Zephyr out of this. You know. Try and option select the zone. Guard break anyone who's spamming this. And I mean, that's pretty much it on this matchup. This matchup isn't that difficult. Even if you're bleeding, you should be fine. Alright, Grace, you practice some of the basics of this. Get over here. You're still there. Oh, I think she might be fed up. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and move to a different matchup. Oh, damn. Did you miss all of that? Damn it, Grace. Oh, no, she got it. Alright. This is gonna be the last matchup I'll do for y'all, and then I'm just gonna call it a day or whatever. I'm just gonna spar. Let's see. Oh wow, the lobby's glitched. What up?
Dang.
I know, and it's Easter Sunday.
What's your YouTube or Twitch?
Oh, it's YouTube. It's YoungKenshinX space Noel Jones. KNOWL and JONES. Alright, so what matchup should I do? Is there any matchup you wanted to work on in particular?
We could try Orochi against Orochi.
What book you reading, puppies? Bye. Go blue for me. Alright, whatever. Yeah, we'll just spar then. Fuck it. I think I got it. Yeah, it's good enough. But yeah, pretty much though, just option select unblockables. It gets you out of most mix-ups. And then just consider, you know, your matchup now. Because you have to evaluate Orochi. Alright. We're just gonna spar, so let's get it.
Alright.
Pretty tired anyway.
Alright.
Ouch. I could have killed you. I should have killed you.
Ah, da!
I lost priority because I waited.
Round 2.
Good parry. Jesus Christ, I have some strange sleep schedules. Y'all need to sleep or you're not gonna grow. Ouch. Good riptide.
I was more expecting it to parry your top light, but oh well.
I mean, it's not a bad option.
Round
So
3.
You can actually do it in the Orochi matchup as well.
Oh.
I tried to parry his own. You don't really backstep that much.
So it's parry zone, you just do the option select?
No. Sometimes I just do a wild parry. I got good. Oh yeah, I didn't even go over Orochi's max punch.
I can't.
I dashed. I don't even know why I dashed. I didn't gain anything from that dash. I could have just did another top load.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Round 4.
Gotta do this tomorrow when I'm fully awake and have an actual mirror match. 'Cause this is another week. Ouch, that hurt so bad. Nice punch. Oh, I missed the parry. That's depressing. Alright, well, let me go ahead and collect my victories.
Oh no.
Can't go out like this. Someone tried some unlock tech on me.
Was it? Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, that was stupid. Got greedy. Yeah, I could have just threw top fights, god dang it. What the fuck? And that zone parry would have been GG.
Round 6.
That wasn't guaranteed. That's a shame. Good block.
Man, the delay really does work.
Victory!
Ah!
Round 7. Round 8.
I missed that deflect. I'm so mad. That's a shame. Good parry. Ouch. Good. That's a good way to catch the backstab. Alright, bro. I'm getting off, man. I gotta get some sleep. Catch y'all later.